Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Khabri and Arun Foot. After a day's break, we're back to review the ISL game that just took place. A thrilling 3-all draw between the Kerala Blasters and Chennaiyin FC. Sort of a shock result for the Blasters who were playing at home. I mean, they did go 3-1 down. So when you look at it that way, a 3-all result is probably good for them. But when you're fighting at the top, you sort of expect to win these games at home. And I don't know, what do you make of this clash? Crazy game though.
As you say, crazy game, an insane and intense game. And you saw at the end, Owen Coyle still charged up, having a go at the Kerala Blasters bench. And I give a huge respect to the way that Chennaiyin FC played this game today, because they have been up and down. But this today seemed an Owen Coyle squad. They were really on fire from the start.
Yeah.
Crivellaro with that free kick. Brahim Ali, until his injury, gets a lot of stick for his football, but respect for what Rahim Ali played today. I think he deserves that. On the other side, Diamantakos, the hero on the other side, Pepra getting his first goal. Jordan Murray with a couple of goals, his first two goals for Chennai as well. Could have gotten a hat-trick. The referee had his moments, before the second goal for Chennai. There could have been a foul on Hormipam. It was not shown in the replay, so I don't know if Hormipam did complain to the referee but didn't get the foul. But again, that one where Sachin Suresh doesn't hold on to the ball, touches Rahim Ali, and then Jordan Murray shoots in. That's never a foul on the goalkeeper. He just didn't grab the ball. So lucky, unlucky on both sides. Second half, you have to say the Blasters better. In the end, most probably, Daisuke needs to score the fourth, even though Irfan could have done, on that counter, could have also put or that header from Farouk or the shoulder from Farouk. There's so much to talk about. It's just lovely game of football, and excitement, entertainment, all. It had everything that you would like to have in a good game of football.
We'll come to the keeping part because I think it's probably the sort of standout moment in the game, at least for me. But before that, not a couple, but a few goals to go through. Some brilliant goals. The first one, again, I know you spoke about Rahim Ali, somebody who's gotten a lot of stick, comes up with a beautiful little flick from that free kick. Expected something like that from him because I haven't seen him score too many like that.
I think Rahim Ali is one of those players who gets a lot of stick. I feel undeservingly. Because I think he's one of those players, if you persist with them, if you give them time, if you give them a chance, they could be better. And again, he's one of those guys. So therefore, good to see him get that one. And he was on fire. He was putting a lot of pressure on Hormipam initially, and then sadly got injured, which I guess weakened Chennai as well. I think Farooq Chaudhary was not as impactful as Rahim Ali today. And hello, Anurag as well, for joining us this evening. Amal Shaji, you raise a point. Again, difficult to say because there's no line. So therefore, I don't know. It could be offside. It could not be offside. So from that side, difficult to say. Again, then you have, the two penalties. Both of them, there's no doubt. Ajit with the first foul, Naucha with the second foul. Both of them given, both of them coolly slotted home, and then you have the situation. Of course, the penalty situation is created because of that sort of Hormipam losing the ball, but then the mistake from Sachin Suresh, and that was whistled back. Again, it was no infringement on the keeper, and and that would have been the third. Murray scores another one, and you saw after. The Murray thing, it reminded me a little bit of Roy Krishna against Mohun Bagan, where these players have played at other clubs, the respect to the old clubs. And I always like that. Again, sometimes maybe the one or the other player in the emotion might show something which he might maybe not meaning in that way. But I felt it was a good one from him. And then, of course, Pepra with his first goal, and Diamantakos with another one. So two great long distance goals from the Kerala Blasters strikers. I thought it was an exciting game of football, and in the end, Daisuke with the miss, Farooq Chaudhary potentially with that header, which with shoulders, it could have ended 5-5, 6-6, and again, and this matchup, the Southern Derby, let's call it the Southern Derby,
Yeah.
never really disappoints. It had everything that you want, and but again, a few questions that can be asked about Vukomanovic and his sort of, I'm trying to utilize my squad. I think that nearly it did backfire in the end because he dropped 2 vital points at home. It could have backfired even more.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Homipam and Drincic didn't look as secure as as a Pritham Kotal in that defense. And we talked about players. We talked the other day about Rahul Beke having had a few good games. Today we saw Rahim Ali. The same can be said about Pritham Kotal in last week. So players who here and there have gotten a lot of stick from the fans. Really played well, and they deserve credit for that. But again, at the end of the day, can you put this shift in, week out? An interesting fact was that I think Pritham Kotal has now been left out 16 times from the starting lineup by different managers over the last few years, and never has a team without him in the starting lineup won. That's an insane piece of stat.
Yeah. Insane. I mean, like you said, I think there are a lot of talking points today. Everybody in the chat again mentioning that Sakai chance. Sharon's mentioned it, so has Anurag. Crazy miss. Of course, it was a crazy miss. Sort of right in front of the goal. You expect him to just finish it there. Lovely little build up before that. But Arnav, was a game of the strikers. And from one striker, we spoke about Rahim. Let's go to the other one. Jordan Murray, two important goals for him because of the way he started the season. Of course, he puts away the penalty, fine. But after that, it's a really cool finish. It's sort of a striker's finish. Happy to see him get on the score sheet a couple of times. Should really kickstart season from now.
I think yes, because you have Connor Shields as well. He has not fired, so from that perspective, I think it just made sense in a way to utilize Jordan Murray, who knows Indian condition, who's played for the Blast, who's played for Jamshedpur. He knows this manager as well. He knows Owen Coyle, and you saw the energy. You saw the energy level go up with Jordan Murray after he scored that penalty. I would have thought Crivellaro would have been the obvious choice to take the penalty. And again, this was smart thinking of getting the penalty shot by him. And and you saw both the teams giving it everything. Great game of football.
Again, a couple of people mentioning Pritham Kotal in the chat. Leaving Pritham didn't pay off. Why was he dropped on? Why? What is the tactical sort of view that Vukomanovic could have taken to drop Pritham?
I think the understanding would be that I think he's trying to rotate his squad. He's got good quality players. Interesting is also Leskovic has played limited time as well, and he was the man at the back line for the Kerala Blasters last season. So he's trying to rotate his squad. Defensively, it backfired. Chennai really exposed them, and again, it could have been more than 3, right, in the first half. And the Blasters' defense, which has been rock solid so far this season, one of the reasons why the Blasters are at the top of the table. And that's the point. And my problem for the Blasters is you've also had too many home matches at the start of the season. In the second leg, you'll play a lot of matches away, and that's then the question. It's going to be interesting to see how they really cope with everything, because at the end of the day, it's rotation is part of the game, but you have to do your rotation smartly. And weirdly, Hormipam in some instances felt like he was not really in the game. A weaker performance by him. We've seen better performances from him in the past. Can't hear you. You're on mute.
Yeah. He's asking foul on the goalkeeper. We just spoke about it a little bit in the early. I think both of us are agreeing with the fact that it wasn't a foul. Goalkeepers are really protected. Arnav, what do you make of? I think goalkeepers are extremely lucky a lot of times because there's such protected species in our game that it's even if you just stand beside the keeper,
we had we had that discussion last week about the goal that Qatar scored against Amrinder, right? If you don't
Yeah,
hold on to the ball again, and this is the thing, he has the ball here and he's trying to catch it, right? But he doesn't.
yeah,
He's not controlling the ball, and he
exactly.
drops the ball backwards. And you see, Rahim Ali is not pushing him or shoving him on. Rahim Ali is just there. Therefore, it's not a foul. So therefore, Sachin Suresh very, very lucky to get away, because if Chennai score that and they score the one after that, if it's 4-1, then it's game, set and match. I think then they don't come back. And I think that's one of the reasons why Old Coil will most probably be quite angry at the end of the day with the result, even though if you look at it towards the end of the game, it looked more likely that the Blasters would get the 3 points.
Hmm. Yeah, just in general, Arnav, it's not just Indian football, but I see this everywhere. The keeper thing. What's the potential reason? Like, I mean, I understand you want to protect keepers. I actually don't understand it. So let me just put it to you. So why do you think they get this leeway? I mean, for every small thing, or even if there's enough distance, they get calls in their favor all the time, especially from corners. Seen it a lot.
Again, there is a lot of pushing and shoving going on in the box, right? And especially, again, the goalkeeper is sort of the protected soul in the game. But in this instance, again, I don't agree with Adi on that one, and his elbow. Again, even if he's standing inside the goal, that does not matter. You can stand wherever you want to on a football pitch,
Exactly.
inside, outside. So that's out of point. Where is the elbow? I mean, please show me where the elbow is. And even if there is an elbow, if again, where is the elbow? How are you using the elbow? Yeah, the goalkeeper is protected, but he fumbles the ball. He does not have control of the ball. Again, we go back to a different situation where Amrinder on the ground doesn't have control of the ball, and Almoez scores the goal for Qatar. So therefore, again, the referee did well today. He saw a lot of things, but there were one or two instances where you would say could have done better. But again, still, the referee, with all that was happening, there was a lot of tension. Did overall a very, very good job.
And with he's saying he's a Chennaiyin fan. Again, what a comeback by Kerala in the end. But Chennai fans, I mean, would you feel hard done by if you're not hard done by, but would you feel bad as a Chennai fan because you're 3-1 up away from home? From there, probably cruising, you should get the job done in the end, Arnava.
I think as a Chennai fan, you will feel unlucky because it's just, if you're leading 3-1 at the Blasters, very few teams score goals against the Blasters. Forget them scoring 3. So if you're scoring 3 in Kerala, in Kochi, at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, you will hope that's the point. So therefore, Chennai hard done by. But again, if you look at the second 45, the Blasters deserved at least a point in this game.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I think again it swung both ways, and Blasters could have nicked the game in the end. Crazy, crazy stuff. But let's just quickly take a look at the table now. You've got Chennai in 7. They played 8 and they've got 8 points. They're one behind Northeast. So they're in and around the top 6. Meanwhile, you've got the Blasters back on top of the table, but they played 2 more than Goa, who are second, and 1 point behind the Blasters. Very tight. So Arnav, at this point, do you see Blasters really challenging for the top spot, or is it between Goa, Mohun Bagan, Mumbai potentially?
These 2 points hurt today,
Hmm.
and the point here is that it's important to see that, again, as I said earlier, the Blasters have a lot of away games in the second leg, and the Blasters at home and the Blasters away are 2 different teams, especially against the top side. So therefore, they need to aggregate as many points as possible to try and get as many possible points in the first leg and work on their away form. If they can work on their away form, I think that the Blasters, again, top 6 surely is possible, but for them, top 4 or maybe challenging for the title will be tough, because again, we're now a 12-team league, 22 matches. You will have to get in the region of 45, maybe even 50 points to win the league.
Yeah.
And for that, you already have lost 1, drawn 2. So you're already losing 3, 5, 7 points,
Exactly.
and That's the challenge I think that the Blasters will have. But top four, surely. Top four, top six at least. The Blasters are in
Fair
at the
enough.
moment.
Tomorrow, Arnava, is Bengaluru FC, Punjab. Surely BFC have to get the 3 points at home tomorrow. If they don't, is it time for Grayson to? I mean, is it time for the management to consider different options?
Um, Again, we were talking about Mohun Bagan a couple of nights ago, and what the situation is at the Super Giants, and it looks like the management, for the moment, has decided to keep Juan Ferrando until the end of the year. He's got another 5 games to go, and he supposedly has said that he will want to win 5 games.
Okay.
At BFC, you're going to be playing one of the weakest teams in the league, in Punjab FC, who are newcomers, and the point is also what are the Blues, so to say, producing out of the quality that the players that they have. And from that perspective, I feel that to me, it's not enough. I feel. Again, I feel that Bengaluru FC stands, to lose a little bit of their identity. This manager doesn't fit to the identity of what we BFC we've seen, especially, under Westwood, under Roca, even, again, Carlos Cuadrat, who's at East Bengal, even under Marco Pezzaioli, coaches who wanted to play attacking football with flair. So therefore, it's a difficult one. But also BFC needs success as a club, and it's difficult to say. I mean, I asked the counter question. You're a BFC fan. What is your feeling if tomorrow BFC don't win, draw, or maybe even lose to Punjab? What would you say? Because you're falling behind quite a bit in the table. Then that's the other problem that you face. That if you're trying to fight for the playoffs, BFC tomorrow will have played 8 matches, and potentially you stand at 7 points, and you're even behind Chennai then.
Exactly. Arnav, I think for me, as personally, I mean, even if Simon does end up having a successful season, I was always of the opinion that he doesn't quite suit BFC style, or he's not quite the guy for BFC, because I don't know, it's too defensive, the mindset sort of from Simon Grace, at least what we saw last season. Okay, this season he's trying to play with the ball, he's trying to get the midfielders involved. It's a little better, but again, we're not getting the results. We're not scoring enough goals from open play, which I completely agree. I completely agree with Anil. I want to see way more goals from open play. We end up scoring from the spot, and that's about it. Anvit, I understand where you're coming from. Had a great second half last year. But you tell me, as a BFC fan, were you enjoying the football that BFC were playing even in the second half last season? Because I wasn't. I know we got the results. It was thrilling. It was insane. That incredible run. Loved being a part of it. But tell me honestly, were you really enjoying the football? I wasn't. So yeah, exactly. I completely agree with Sangmesh, because he's saying that was the peak. It was. I mean, it was beautiful and it was effective. That's sort of the football I think I grew up watching for BFC. I want to see that. I want to see the same. And Simon Grayson, unfortunately, isn't bringing that to the club. So and there's too many changes. Let me just point that out, guys. We BFC does not know its first 11. We do not know our first 11. Every game there are at least 2 to 3 changes, and you just don't know who's playing where. Of course, Roshan picking up those red cards hasn't helped. Suresh picked up one in the middle, but yeah, Namgal Bhutia is playing right back one day, next day is playing on the wings. I don't know what is happening, so need to get some things right before anything else. But really want BFC to pick up the points tomorrow. That's the most important thing. Need to win the game at home. But yeah, that's on BFC. Another, moving to your club, Mumbai City, in Asia yesterday. Of course, they went away and played against Nasaji. Didn't quite happen in the end, but any promising signs that you saw from that Mumbai City squad yesterday and their effort?
I think I'm a little surprised by certain discussions of people. Again, and I talk about, we have to be real. They're talking, Nasaji are not a good team in the Iranian league and this and that and everything. Um, but they're still an Iranian club side, right? Mumbai City is one of the top teams in India. And of course, we know what results Mumbai City got last season. But if I look at an all Indian 11, I'm missing Mehtab Singh. I'm playing players who, Mavia, I don't know how much he's played in the last 2 years. Has he played at all? Right? You're playing Vikram Pratap as a right back. So from that perspective, 2-0 is okay. The second one, of course, Nangtu is, too hard for the own goalkeeper. It's an own goal. That happens. The first one was a class. Nasaji had a few chances. Again, I think Mumbai City has not been having the luck also to maybe get a goal here and there in the competition. And I think overall, I think it's more than a level higher than what Mumbai City normally face in India. And if you're missing the foreigners, the gulf of difference. Again, Iran is a World Cup playing nation on a regular basis. We are not even anywhere close. So the difference of standard, the gulf of standard is just too high. So therefore, this campaign to me also raises the question of if Indian football deserves to be in the Champions League or not. And that question to me is not even, we don't even need to discuss it. I think we belong in the second tier of Asian club competition. I don't think we are capable of playing sides from Saudi, from Iran, or potentially Qatar or whatever, so therefore, these results turn out. Last season, I think, was the bubble, everything, and things worked out again, and the opponents were not as strong as this year. And again, especially against Al Hilal, you saw the difference, and that's again the last 3 months in Indian football. I think showed where we stand. And again, people are criticizing Gurkirat. Hey, Gurkirat hasn't played that much. Again, you're playing an opponent. The intensity is higher. Even if you're not playing enough minutes in the ISL, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult because this is a team which is trained for the last 3 days in that sort of formation, right? So that's also a problem for Mumbai City. But so therefore, I think this isn't the test about our Indian boys. That's.
I know one game to go. Hoping to see a goal. Do you think it's going to come?
I think that's the thing for Mumbai City to play for. I think also what should not be forgotten that the head coach is gone, right? Des Buckingham is gone. Anthony Fernandez was leading the lines as an interim coach. So therefore, these are realities. And again, it's good for Mumbai City to play Champions League, but again, these are teams. They're in a different league, and we've seen sadly in the last few weeks a number of times that we stand. Lord Beke, they're a relegation team in Iran, but even a team in the relegation drop zone in Iran is better than any team in the ISL. That's the reality. Again, you saw India play against Qatar. People are talking about the chances. Guys, forget press and all, whatever. Guys, Qatar could have scored, I don't know how many. We have to wake up to these realities. Our football, is not at the level where we all would love our football to be. Right? We saw an exciting ISL game today. Send those two teams to play in Asia. It's not going to work. That's a sad, brutal reality. even a Mohun Bagan with all the spendings are struggling in their group. They're out of the AFC Cup. 70 plus crores spent. They're out. So, Basundhara Kings are challenging our teams, our clubs. I think we need to be real and honest. So therefore, yeah, Roshan, very very valid point on a Japanese second division team winning the Kings Cup. The standard in the top nations in West and East Asia is way. So therefore, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Hoping to see a goal though from Mumbai. I mean, as an Indian football fan, of course, something that we're hoping for, and yeah, let's see. Anava, on the Kalinga Super Cup, it's been announced for January 2024. What is the Kalinga Super Cup? What prominence is it going to hold in Indian football?
There was a lot of confusion, I think, in the last few weeks of what's happening. I remember I think it was Ivan Vukomanovic, I think before the Hyderabad game in the press conference when he was asked, said, Super Cup, what are you going to do? And he says, I don't know anything. I don't know when's happening, where it's happening, how it's happening. Now we know the format. A big thank you once more to the Odisha government coming forward, sponsoring the competition. And it will be a knockout come league format. I still I still don't understand why this league come knockout format always has to be chosen. I would rather have the Super Cup as a clean knockout competition. You could have done it with a draw and maybe have a final four or something of the sort. I don't know. You could have done something with it. Now it's going to happen. Odisha has come forward once more. It has been named Kalinga. It'll happen in two places. The top teams, be it Mohun Bagan Super Giant, Mumbai City, Goa, BFC. Again, our BFC top side, but BFC have a lot of national team players. Odisha, even East Bengal, crucial players are going to be missing those players depending on who's fit and who's willing to go, or who's not willing to go, but who's going to be picked by Igor Stimac. And let's see what happens. Again, we can talk about the timing. Did it have to be in Jan? Could it not have been sort of in April, post ISL season? Again, a lot of questions which will not be answered by the AFF, and that's, I think, again, the communication is something which I find at the moment a little problematic. So therefore,
important tournament, given Asian places up for grabs. So yeah.
I think I think Roshan asking the right question. It was discussed. I know it was discussed by the AFF, and again, like many things that were said before the start of the season, we'll bring back the Federation Cup. The Federation Cup will be played like a European Cup style competition throughout the season. Then the AFF had to realize is that I have three teams who are playing in Champions League and AFC Cup. And if you think about even putting 2 rounds of matches into this window from August, late August to December, Mumbai City, Mohun Bagan, and Odisha, where do you pack those dates in? That was one of the big issues. Then you said the Federation Cup is dead. Okay, we are keeping the Super Cup. Okay. I would have thought it would be another post-season tournament. But now they've decided on putting it into the January window. Again, Ivan has been vocal about it. Also mentioned Manolo has been vocal about it. I've heard it from 2-3 other coaches as well. So it's one of those difficult ones, right? Where you think, will you then suddenly have matches on the same day, same time as India is playing
Yeah.
in the AFC Asian Cup? So therefore, yeah,
Yeah.
it just doesn't add up, I think. But again, it's now going to be played. The I-League clubs will have to play qualifiers, and the four I-League clubs. Rahul, there is an audio problem on your end once more. And it's it gives exposure to players who don't play that much. That is a fact. It gives more matches. We can discuss that, debate that, because I think we discussed it the other day. There's a feeling that actually at the moment, no, there's still an issue around. So we've had too much of football from the August to December window. Maybe a little break would have been nice for the teams, and would have been better. I personally feel, which would have made sense in the sense of that you give the players a little break, coaches can regroup, get some training in, potentially look at signing new players or bringing in new players, and that's going to be the challenge. I think that now, instead of having a break, having the possibility to work on things, to bring in new signings, work with the new signings. That's the point. That's it.
Yeah, everybody was asking about Cheyenne, Harry, and Akshata. They're also they're busy. I mean, hopefully we're going to have them back very soon, and
Yeah.
it'll be a full house again. But yeah, that's what we wanted to discuss today. Mumbai City, of course, this crazy game between Chennai and Kerala. We have BFC in action tomorrow against Punjab, and of course Mumbai City in the AFC Champions League. Again, everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us. Thanks, Arnava. It was a nice little conversation that we had today. And yeah, we'll be back. And until next time, please do like, share the videos, and subscribe to all our channels: Sports Khabri, Iron Food, Indian Food and Football, and Curiosity. And good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.